today we are joined by a wonderful guest, my good friend, Mr. Kofi Debrah, who is the founder of the Asa Baako Music Festival and someone who's also involved in Agro Forestry as the founder of OKO Forests. Kofi, how are you?
I'm well. Great to be here. Yeah. Sewor, good to see you. It's been a while.
Good to see you. Yeah. So please tell me about everything. Let's start with your family history. Let's start with your journey from the UK to Ghana and the beginning of Asa Baako. Yeah, tell me about it.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay. Family history. So I am, I call myself a Ghanaian North Londoner.
I love it.
Yeah, from Islington. And my family, my dad actually, he traveled to London in the mid-60s. Mm-hmm. He's been here quite a while.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah, so he was quite mature when I was born. He was a seasoned man when I was born, and then he wasn't married. Went back to Ghana to find a wife. Met my mum, and then they got married. Then my mum came over in the, I think, like early or mid 70s, mm-hmm. early to mid 70s. Mm-hmm. And then me and my two sisters grew up in London. It was very, very much being in a Ghanaian house, sure. And then the outside world was, very London thing. But inside the house was fufu,
jollof rice,
banku, jollof, of course, music, dance.
So many of us,
lots of Ghanaian parties, lots of going around to stay at different relatives who are dotted across London. There's that culture of
course,
of going to stay at aunties and uncles for periods of time. Yeah. So I did lots of that. So had a very mixed experience, really, of a very kind of British London cultural life, but in a very deeply rooted Ghanaian culture. Then didn't go to. So I had my first trip to Ghana when I was an 8-year-old.
Wow, yeah.
Which I hated it.
Too hot.
Smelt, smelly food.
Love it. Yeah.
No McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I was that spoiled London brat.
Of course.
Who complained about everything. Of course. And that was my childhood. And then I didn't go to Ghana again until I was 19. And when I was 19, I was this Pan-Africanist.
Yeah, of course.
In tune with my culture, understood everything.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it's such a journey because I think, from my experience as well, it's something that's very similar. My father is Ghanaian, my mother is American.
Right.
So I have an American side of things. But yes, growing up in a household, aunties and uncles, that one I totally relate to. My parents used to ship us off every weekend. And growing up within African culture and an African family, but yet also having the school side of things and, doing sports and being part of, sports clubs and being with, kids from all over the world. I mean, growing up in London, I think one of the great things is the fact that it is a melting pot. Mm. We had friends who were Iranian, friends who were from Israel, friends who are from everywhere and anywhere, And I think what was always nice was being able to go to people's houses and have different food.
Right.
The food was always the connection,
Yes.
I still have friends who talk about my mum's jollof rice and, all this kind of stuff, But so the connection to Ghana and, how did you find it when you went back when you were 19? Was that when you really started to connect again?
Yeah, that's when I connected. So I took a year out after university and I was in New York for 4 months.
I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah. So I lived in New York for 4 months. One of my best friends' uncle, we had a free apartment there.
Hey, go for it.
He already knew I was taking a year out. And it's like, oh, you know what? You interested in coming to New York for a bit during your year out? I was like, let me think about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, so I was in New York for, for 4 months. Where was it? From like September through to early January.
Very cool.
And
Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah. So it's an amazing experience. And so, you know, so close to where I was sort of like staying and hanging out, there was this like Pan-African shop.
Very cool.
And so I'd always used to go in there, and they had these like little key rings from like all over of Africa, and I like got my Ghana key ring.
Of course.
It sort of just reminded me, it was interesting. I kind of had my African identity was more instilled there. You know, obviously it was like brewing in London and stuff, but being in New York, where it really helped to instill that. And actually, unfortunately, a cousin of mine passed away. And I remember speaking to her at on New Year's, and you know, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna come to Ghana. We're gonna hang out." And I hadn't seen her since I was an 8-year-old, and she was like a very similar age to my middle sister, and so about 4 years older than me. And unfortunately, she passed away suddenly.
Oh, sorry,
She had an illness, and like within like 2 months, she died, and that was like it was a moment for me. I was like, oh my god, I you know, at a young age, as like and I think I was just turned 19. I realized, you know, that I just needed to connect,
get to know family.
And need to see them physically. So I, you know, then sort of I felt my time in New York was coming to an end. Well, visa ran out.
Yeah, a natural end. Yeah.
And so I went to Ghana. I came back to London for a few weeks. Flew straight to Ghana. And, you know, with my Pan-African self.
I know something about you. Wait, didn't you start the Africa Society at university?
Oh yeah. Oh, of course.
I didn't know
forgot about that.
Tell me about that. Because that's being in touch with you.
I was in my second year of uni, I was the African Caribbean Society president.
There you go.
Yeah, and so they had a carnival. They had an annual carnival that they'd been organizing. It was like the 8th edition. And so I came in as, you know, being a Londoner, and, you know, I studied in Southampton, and it was like the carnival they put on, let's just say it
could have been better.
You know,
there was room for improvement.
There's room for improvement. But fair play to what they did. They really brought everyone together. And wonderful. You know, again, coming from London and been going to Notting Hill Carnival, I was like, you know, we can turn this up a few levels. We can raise this up a bit.
Fantastic.
And so then I was elected in my second year as the African Caribbean Society president. With my main mission was to like make this carnival the biggest thing ever, right? That the university had ever seen.
Fantastic.
And so that was what an experience. Oh my God.
It sounds like it was the spark before AsaBaako, maybe.
It was.
Because there's an experience of putting on a festival and a carnival, which I guess is a day festival.
Yeah, exactly. It was over a day. And so what we did is, oh my God, this flashbacks coming out. So what we did, because actually, I was not only the African Caribbean Society president, I was like the Cultural Society president. There was all these vacant leadership roles. So
I love it.
And a few of them, there was like no contest. So I was like, okay, I'll put my name for it.
I'll do that.
I think I had like 5 titles.
Fantastic.
Equal opportunities officer. And but the main was the African Caribbean Society president. You know, we had like constitution. There was a whole team behind it. I think it was like a team of like 10 of us.
Cool.
And so, yeah, main mission to make this carnival, this like cultural extravaganza for the whole university.
Yeah, of course. It's about introducing culture and connecting people.
Right. And promoting our kind of African selves. And so we basically ended up taking over the whole Students' Union.
Very cool.
We had like 2,000 people. It was like the biggest event they'd ever seen. You know, the drinks at the bar ran out. People were queuing for like an hour for a drink.
Very
They
cool.
were completely, it took them by surprise. We tried to warn them. We told them we were coming.
It's going to be a party.
We told them this is going to be a party. But they didn't. And so we had like the capoeira, we brought all the different societies together, all the different cultural societies, like capoeira society, Indian society. Everyone had their like little space, and I think we had there's like 8 rooms in total of like different types of music, and it was just phenomenal.
Fantastic.
It was phenomenal, and then also real experience of like institutional racism, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
In what way?
From
Was
the
there
students'
people
union.
blocking or sabotage?
Blocking, all of it, actually.
In what way? Give us any specific examples?
So I remember one. So some of my friends, they did like a dance event, and they were like this, you know, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Katie and I forget her other name. Really cool, you know, good friends, and they had done an event a month or two prior to our one, and so they'll tell me about their experience of dealing with the student union and the doors they opened.
Right. Okay.
And
you didn't have the same experience.
We did not have the same experience.
Really, very.
I mean, there was one point. One of the staff at the students' union was just we wanted to put a poster up to like show, you know, in the main hall, and I remember it's just so much like, you know, passive aggression and almost aggression and trying to get us to be kind of angry and create this confrontation.
Really,
and it was just like, bruv,
just chill,
man. Like, yeah,
it's about a good time.
It's So obviously, you know, we hadn't read the room, and then even like post event. Bear in mind, we brought everyone together.
Yeah, of course.
It's sold out.
Yeah. And people from all backgrounds.
People from all backgrounds were there. This was our time to shine as
of course.
African and Caribbean, as black people, and show, you know, our contribution to the wider
society at large.
At the university. And I remember they the students' union body itself, they gave us this ridiculous cleaning bill after it, you know, because the perception was we made loads of money and all of this, and they gave us this like ridiculous bill. And I remember this was like what I love about when it comes to it, like people, it was a show of unity, because I remember
people coming together.
People come together. They gave us this ridiculous bill which would kind of like bankrupt our African Caribbean society, and you know, we had obviously putting on an event like that. There's conflict. We had our differences within the society, but when it came to that, we all came together.
Of course.
And we basically went in force to their students' union meeting.
Challenge.
About 50 black people rocked up. How much is that bill?
Invoice in hand.
How much? Can we discuss it? We want to discuss. They reverted back to the original bill, and it was such a moment of so many. I learned so much in that process conflict resolution, you know, kind of fighting for our rights.
Yeah, of course, which is just
bringing
process.
people together on. It was such an amazing experience.
So you were at Southampton University. What percentage of the student body were from the African continent or from diaspora, Jamaican, or wherever it may be?
Yeah, that was interesting actually,
and also Asian and even American and from other places.
Right. Yeah, actually, I was like a minority within the minority, because there weren't that many Black Brits. There were few, but not that many. Most were, you know, like African
students.
Yeah, African students paying the full fees.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You know, like quite well to do.
Yeah, of course.
You know, paying the full tuition fees, whatever they were. You know, 10, 15 grand a year. And, you know, quite a lot back then, and. So I was like one of the few kind of like Black British students.
Did you feel a disconnect, or was there a connect?
I think we connected on music and on culture, but on certain elements of culture. But obviously, you know, I'm a Londoner through and through, and so that was like kind of my main cultural anchor.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
and so there was quite a few differences actually. with us. So that was interesting for me. So it was. But what connected us was music.
It was music.
Yeah, music.
It's always music and food, I think.
Yeah, and
that's,
food.
That's
and
always
food.
the connection.
Oh,
yeah.
We had many potlucks.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So within that experience, obviously, I know you from starting the AsaBaako Festival. I know you from our time in Ghana.
Yes.
You, like myself, decided to give Ghana a go, to give Africa a chance, and give wanting to experience more of that. So talk to me about what brought you to that decision. And I remember when you started AsaBaako, it was you and your friend Richard.
Yes, yeah.
And how's Richard? Is he good?
He's good. He's living in Lisbon now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's living life there.
But what brought you to the decision to try something like that? And how did you go about it?
Right. Yeah. So post graduating from university, and I studied like social anthropology, so no direct path to
as vague as you can be.
Very vague. It was like doing general studies as A level. I didn't do that, but it's very vague, very broad knowledge.
I can do admin.
And I can understand culture and make connections,
which is important.
Very important. And so I didn't know kind of what I wanted to do and stuff, and I ended up I ended up getting with this like really top employment agency, recruitment agency. Met them at like a recruitment fair at like the Business Design Center or something. There's like post uni thing. And met them, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're brilliant! We're gonna sign you up. You're gonna get such a great job through our agency. You're gonna be sorted." And so went to their offices, had to do like these individual tests and like group tests, passed them with flying colors, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're phenomenal. We're gonna put you to our top companies, and I can't wait to get you signed up for a job." And then some more kind of pushback from like kind of I don't know, like institutional rate. I'll say something.
It wasn't going the way you thought it was going to go.
Didn't get any of those jobs, and then so that the recruitment agencies were not so much older than me, so they were like their late 20s and stuff, and they were very culturally attuned and and whatnot. But the people hiring me were a bit older, white and stuff. And I introduced a friend from university to that recruitment agency.
Sure.
And, he's like white English.
And he got snapped up.
He got snapped up straight away.
Yeah, it's interesting, yeah.
It's very interesting. So I was just like, and having that social anthropology kind of cultural background and whatnot, I was just like, you know what? F the system. Fuck it. If they want me, I'm going to find my own way. I'm going to do my own way. So, and so then I was like, okay, what do I know? What are my skills?
Sure.
What can I do? So I was like, I'm gonna volunteer with the Notting Hill Carnival.
Cool. Okay, I didn't know. See, I didn't know this.
Yeah. So I volunteered. So I called them up. I called up a number, and this woman called Aidan Simone picked up, and she was working with them, and I just said, what can I do? What can I do? So we ended up volunteering with them, and then through that ended up making some connections with the Arts Council, which is a big funder of the different carnival groups. And there was a Zimbabwean called Pax Nindi there who ended up becoming his very good friend and a mentor.
Fantastic.
And through him, I ended up getting some funding to do a publication on the 40th or 50th anniversary of the Nottingham Carnival. So it was a
very cool,
amazing experience, because in that publication, I basically interviewed all of the carnival greats.
Very cool.
And featured their stories in this publication. Very cool. On the anniversary of the carnival.
I didn't know any of this, man.
Right.
This is fascinating to me.
Yes, I did that. And then later on, I ended up getting some more funding to go and research and develop my experience in the Trinidad Carnival.
Cool.
Right, so I was there for a month just to experience the Trinidad Carnival and bring that knowledge and stuff back to the UK, and that so that was, I spent maybe actually up until I went to Ghana. So from pretty much maybe a year or two after graduating, so maybe like 8 years with the carnival, like in various roles and stuff.
I did not know any
worked
of
at the
this.
National Centre for Carnival, and
Very cool.
made all those things. So a lot of my peers at the time and I like running the carnival. So like Matthew Phillip is now I think like, I don't know, his title CEO or something.
Sure, of course, yeah. But he's a head. He's
like
one of the senior gentlemen of Ginger.
Yeah, and Debbie Gardner and
Very cool.
you know, Pepe from Ebony and
Very cool.
yeah. So I did that, and then the last job I had was at the Tabernacle in Notting Hill.
Yeah.
So it's like this mini Royal Albert Hall, amazing venue. So I was working there, and my job title was like the marketing manager.
Of course.
But I was like doing way more.
Yeah,
way more.
Wear
than
lots
that.
of hats and get on with lots of different things.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing experience. Met such great people, and like was firmly embedded in kind of like Trinidadian culture, steel pan, mas, like Juve. All of it. To the extent I'd go to Ghanaian cultural gatherings in London and I felt out of place. I was so, I was like,
immersed in the
I was so
Caribbean.
immersed in that particularly Trinidadian culture. It was that it was home to me. Still
Very
is.
nice. Well, it's familiar, isn't it?
It's familiar.
Yeah.
Because when I went to Trinidad Carnival, it was like, oh my God, I need to just pick this up and take it to Ghana, because this is the rhythms and everything is just similar.
I've never been to the Caribbean, and it's one of the parts of the world that I would love to go to. Obviously Jamaica, obviously the Bahamas and Trinidad. So what did you find with Trinidadian culture that was similar? I mean, there's things that are similar, obviously, but
many things. I remember going to. I remember landing at the airport, and the person picking me up was like, there was like a mix up in my accommodation, and I just had to hang around the airport, and I was like going to get some food while I was like waiting for the person to pick me up, and it was super interesting because. Basically, someone tried to rip me off at the airport, but the way they did it, I understood
with friendliness.
It was friendliness with it was like, I was like, wait, hold on.
Wait, something's going on here.
Something's going on here. I understand this technique. This was
My
very familiar.
friend.
Hello, how are you? Is this price?
Yeah, of course.
And then there was something that something was telling me no. I was like, wait, hold up, let me see this receipt.
Yeah.
And then obviously it was not. They tried to rip me off, and then obviously and they didn't even like deny it. I was like, sorry, no apology, nothing. It was like very
the friendliest scam in the world.
Oh my goodness, right? So non-threatening.
Yeah.
And then, that was one, and then just like the landscape, the style of houses,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
The food, in some extent the food, but they have a big
Their own thing.
Indian culture. It's like it's almost like 50-50 Indian African.
Wow, yeah, cool, very cool.
It creates this amazing mix in Trinidad, and so it's for a lot of similarities. And
I guess the colonial houses would be exactly the same.
The style, very similar. Obviously, the climate. And what was interesting, a lot of Trinidadians, I was staying in like Leventil Extension, which is to a lot of people considered the hood.
Right.
So I was staying with Pepe Francis. Ebony Still Band is like a house there where he like hosts people during the carnival.
Very cool.
And so I was staying in that area, and a lot of the local people didn't believe I was like from Africa, which was interesting because like. So it was it was really interesting. I
Were
guess
you more of a Londoner?
obviously I was like more of a Londoner, but I guess I felt so familiar to them. It was their perception of what an African is didn't match what I was presenting, but and it was that was interesting for me.
See, I think it's always interesting when you look at the perception of Africa from people of outside of the continent. And the perception has always been basically the portrayal of Western news media.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really wanted to discuss on this podcast is obviously changing that perception, but also it's not even changing. And I think people are very aware that the continent is rich in diversity. People are very educated. You know, I mean, I know a Nigerian guy who's doctor, you know, because Nigerians, they love their education. And, you know, I think that it's very interesting that you were in a country in the Caribbean, a black country, and there was also a perception of what Africa and Africans were like. And that's very intriguing to me because they still get their news from CNN and, you know, BBC and the usual Western, you know, news media sources. Wow, that's absolutely bonkers. So you spent time in Trinidad. Yeah. You spent time helping to organize the London Carnival and being involved in the London Carnival. And then after that period of time, you said, let me try and do something for myself, and decided that Ghana was in need of some.
I think, you know, I kind of felt I had reached where I could.
Sure.
You know, I felt like I had reached my kind of tenure with the carnival. I felt, you know, what else can I do, right? And from my dad's subtle brainwashing about Ghana from a very young age, you know, certain books he'd let me read and like little things he'd tell me about Nkrumah and you know, different cultural things about Ghana. It was like very instilled in me. There was always this Ghanaian pride about being Ghanaian, and I don't know about, you know, growing up. I remember, you know, Ghana wasn't featured much on the TV or stuff growing up. Yeah, and when it was, you know, it was like, "Mommy, oh sister, Ghana's on TV."
Yeah, of course.
Run.
It was always the thing. It's very true. I remember these things. Yeah.
And you know, so it was like, so you know, had that growing up. So it's a lot of pride there always, and you know, economy was growing, and it was nice going on there on holiday. Very different to when you live there, and so I was like, you know what? Actually, let me go to Ghana. Let me and you know, I've been talking about Ghana to friends and stuff for a long time, and one friend, actually, Yemisi, who had been working with, actually, so she ran an organization called Out of Africa, Hatch Events. So I was actually helping her out with her Out of Africa events, and I helped to organize Out of Africa Festival on Carnaby Street, Kingly Court. It was like this 7-day extravaganza during Africa. It was like this. Every 10 years, it was like an Africa-wide London celebration. At the time, it was like headed by Gus Casely Hayford. Okay, very cool. Oh man, what was the tagline? I can't remember the exact. Anyway, it's like it was part of those cultural events, and it was like the first time there was this Africa extravaganza on Carnaby Street. Amazing. Very cool. Wunmi performed, the band came before he was like the Coco Master was there. And so anyway, so we organized that anyway. So she was like, you know what? Just shut up about Ghana and go.
Cool.
You know, she's Nigerian. I know that very Yoruba. Yoruba. Shut up! You know, she
just go and try. Go and try.
Go ahead. Stop your talk and do the action. You know, so went out there, then met Rich, and then so we just decided, you know what? And so again, like when I had graduated, I was like, okay, what can I do in Ghana?
Sure. Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? Okay, it's festivals, it's like culture. That's my thing.
That's kind of what you know about.
That's what I know about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, you know, teamed up with Rich and was like, okay, let's go. Let's start a festival. And to make it even more complicated, we landed in the Gambia and went to Ghana by road.
Of course. Is this when you had that red Volvo? Did you buy it in Gambia and drive?
No, that was my granddad's old car. No, I bought that for my granddad. Like a huge, So why? Why would you land in Gambia?
Yeah.
No, because we wanted to experience, because we wanted to have the festival, we wanted it to be not just about Pan-African, about and obviously there's such rich history from Francophone Africa.
Of course, there is huge, of course, the
griot culture, and So
I traveled all through Mali and did that whole thing for a long time.
Right? I didn't know. All right, and so we were like, you know what, we've got to experience it firsthand.
Very cool.
So landed in the Gambia, and then went to Ghana by public transport.
I've done that. Done that.
Oh,
it's a trip, man.
It's a trip.
Yeah.
I broke once.
Really?
Yeah. In my coach seat.
I tell you a funny story. So I went from Accra through Burkina Faso to Mali to Dogon country.
Oh yes, I did that in reverse.
Did that whole trip.
Okay.
And just for context for the audience, everybody in Africa names their buses, and we were on a bus called Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton, the bus, kept on breaking down. And everybody would have to get out and push Bill Clinton up a hill.
Okay, he had it worse than me. Oh, man.
But that's amazing. And now, for other contexts, Richard is a white British man.
From South London.
And he was loving
Eltham.
He was loving it?
He was loving it, man. Like, loving it. So Rich also worked in festivals, but more the kind of like big commercial festivals and like marketing and stuff. So it was a really good
combination.
Yeah, good combination. So he kind of brought that that experience, the experience to it. And so we ended up in Ghana via Dakar, which was amazing. And remember seeing Sheikh Lowe perform live at Just For You and some other great musicians. Then went into bumpiest road ever into Mali. Got a train from Kai. Yeah, so we were supposed to get a train from Dakar to Bamako.
Right.
But the Dakar to Bamako, the Dakar to Mali stretch was not working.
Right.
So you ended up having to get a bus. From Dakar to this town called Kai.
Okay.
Then we got the train from Kai to Bamako.
Wow.
It's an amazing experience going through the kind of like Sahel.
Yeah, I've done
region.
it. It's nuts.
I mean,
did you look up and see the stars at night and they seem so much closer?
Yes, but that was in Dogon country.
Yeah, in Dogon country.
Yeah. So then went to Djenné.
The mosque, the 13th century mosque. I've been there.
Yeah, and
it's amazing.
What's amazing is it's like this medieval town.
Yeah.
Right, but this like urban center.
Yeah.
And even the way the people move and stuff, they're like rushing around.
Oh, Monday is market day. And it's bonkers. Yeah. And they say that mosque is the oldest mosque in the world.
Right.
It's the 13th century mosque.
Wow.
When I went there, it was rainy season.
Oh, okay.
And the entire village comes out to reclad the mosque.
Right. Yeah.
So you went to Djenné? Did you go to Mopti on your way back?
No, didn't do Mopti. Do Mopti. So I went to Djenné, and experienced that kind of old urban medieval thing, but it was like felt very modern. At the same time.
Very much so.
Very, and it's like a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yes, the whole city. Yeah.
And then Dogon country, slept under stars.
Yeah.
Amazing learning about that culture and history. Then went, but the thing, by the time we went to Burkina Faso, I was kind of like, I was just tired.
Yes.
I was like, you know what, I need to be in Ghana.
So
I didn't experience Burkina as much as I wanted to.
Did you go through Bobo Dioulasso?
No.
So that's a great city.
Because I'd already been traveling like a month at that point. I was like, you know what, I need some Ghana jollof.
Got to Ouagadougou.
I got to Ouaga and then got a bus to Kumasi.
Yes. And then you felt at home.
Yeah, right, I was like,
I can relax more.
This was better, yeah. No, I loved it, but home is home.
Home is home, yeah. And of course, you can then speak English.
Right.
Yeah, I speak French, so I'm okay when I go through French.
My French is very basic.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting about Mali? All young people speak about 4 or 5 European languages because they're all guides. Part of the way that they make money is by being guides for foreigners. Did you find that or not?
Actually, in Jenne, yes. But I remember being in some town somewhere,
and it was
in Mali.
Yeah.
They didn't speak French.
Right.
I was speaking French, and they're like, I know I was using basic French, and they were like,
no,
and I was like,
local
really
language.
Yeah, that was surprising. So the France hadn't penetrated as much as I thought it had.
I think people forget how vast Mali is. It's a very big country, and you're in that sort of sub-Saharan area. And yes, you have your Bamako's and your Moptis, but everywhere else is quite small. The other cities are quite small, and they're quite far apart, and they're very rural. Yeah.
And actually, that I remember now. We were supposed to go to the festival in the desert. Do you remember this?
I've done it.
No way!
Well, okay. I've been
cool.
I've been to Timbuktu. We actually, it's a long story, but yes, I went up with Panji and Ayana and Lady J. We went up there. Yeah. So I have been to Timbuktu. And that is far away. It is far away.
Wanted to do that.
So when you do that, I have to tell this story. So we drove again from Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, Ouagadougou.
Right.
Then we went through Mopti.
Right.
Then from Mopti, you drive to a town called, I want to say, it's not Jenne. No, what's the last? Douenza. No, it was this town called Douenza in Mali. Douenza is like the last OK Corral. It's a road with a petrol station. Right. And like one restaurant and one hotel. And that's the last road before you go to Timbuktu.
Wow.
And from Douenza? From Douenza to Timbuktu is still a 11-hour drive.
Whoa.
And you go through the desert.
Wow.
And they say that you should never do it at night, and you should always do it in a convoy.
Yeah.
So of course, Charlie, I'm with Pangiana.
Yeah.
What did we do? We did it at night by ourselves.
What an experience.
It was crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I highly recommend doing Timbuktu. It's
unfortunately, it's not so safe to do now.
Of course,
when we were traveling, it was like just kind of when all of that violence and stuff had been brewing. I think the previous year there'd been like an attack, and we were umming and ahhing about whether to, because it was like quite a trek from where we were in Mali, and because I was trying to like a white British thing, I was like. In my head, I was like, I'll be fine. You know what I mean? They're not gonna, it'd be like that Dave Chappelle skit. You know?
I know, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I was like, not going to get much of ransom from me.
That's why I have a Ghanaian passport. I'm just like, please, don't hijack.
And so we decided just to kind of like not do that trip. Yeah, it was and that was the last year they did the festival in the desert. Actually,
yeah.
It hasn't been safe enough to do one since.
To do it. Yeah, of course, all the sort of fighting in the Sahel region. Wow, so very similar to my experience, but in a different way, I think, in terms of wanting to discover part of the continent and wanting to travel and being brave enough to do it with a backpack on a bus kind of thing, which I actually think is the way to do it in a certain way. You really get to meet people and to really experience what life's like for regular people in town. So now you have arrived in Kumasi. You are back in Ghana.
Yes.
You are feeling comfortable, and you are with Richard at this point.
Yeah, with Richard at my grandparents' house.
Yeah. And you guys had the idea for AsaBaako.
Yes.
And now you are starting to implement it. So talk me through the process of actually getting it off the ground.
We spent a year kind of researching about where the best place to do it.
Sure.
Obviously had the experience from Notting Hill, and like really knew that we had to like don't kind of rush the process.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Like take your time to decide where the best place to do it.
Yeah.
And so we had the option to do it in Accra, but we're like, or Kumasi, and we're like, no, we want this kind of like idyllic destination where we can kind of build on a foundation that's already been set. And actually, prior, a year before, during the African Nations Cup.
Yes.
That was held in Ghana. In 2008. I had I just put a call out to friends going to Ghana during the African Nations Cup. Who wants to come? And I was like,
one or two people, and the response was
like 10.
Wow, yeah, very cool.
So it ended up being a Ghanaian, hard to say no,
yes,
right?
Of course.
Almost impossible to say to directly say no. So I great, this is gonna be easy, So ended up being 11 of us, including me. So it went from, just going around in like one of my granddad's cars to have to hire a minibus and figure out the travel for like 11 people and having all 11 people agree, which
is impossible.
But actually, so there was like a lot of arguments on that because everyone wanted to do something different, and they were in Ghana for 2 weeks, and we went up and down the country.
Very
and
cool.
Really explored. We went to Mole, went
beautiful.
to Kumasi, went to like everywhere, and one of my friends, she discovered Busua.
Of course, yeah.
And so a surf shop had just opened.
Yes, that English
Busua.
dude. Was it English dude that opened it, or was he Australian?
American. It was American. He partnered with Brett came after. The English dude came after.
Yeah, and those guys figured out that the surf was good.
Yes, but there had been a documentary called Endless Summer from the 60s.
Really?
And they basically went around the world in Endless Summer.
Finding cool surf.
Finding cool surf. And they went to Busua.
Wow.
So Busua was kind of on the map
for that. Yeah.
For that. And an American guy called Pete Nardini was in Ghana. I think his wife was working at a hospital close to Busua. He was like a West Coast surf dude, and so he basically partnered with Frankie, a guy from Busua called Frankie, and opened a surf shop.
Very cool. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
and so we ended up on that trip in Busua, and basically in that trip, arguments all around on where to go, what to do, where to eat. It was, I remember being
11 people.
I remember like, why can't we just all get along? Like just to kind of shout.
Why can't it be easy?
Why can't it be? And they calmed down for like 2 minutes, and then it was like at each other. And but the place where we all agreed on where to go was Busua.
Yeah, of course, because you got a beautiful beach.
Yeah. Right.
There's a nice hotel there.
The surf shop was good.
Yeah.
We stayed in like Dadson's Lodge.
Okay, yeah.
And the surf shop was amazing. They had really good food there.
Yeah.
We ended up going twice in that trip.
Very cool.
To Busua.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so then fast forward a year later, we decided to, pack up from London, met Rich, and we decided to start a festival, and so I'd met Ebenezer, who's from Busua. I went on that trip with those friends, and I think we already knew it was going to be Busua when we were going to do the festival.
I mean, for context, for people listening, Busua is a beachside city towards Takoradi.
A city, it's a village.
Well, it's a village. It's a village.
It feels like a city, but it's like a village.
It's a village. Yeah. But it is the most beautiful beach. I mean, it really, really is. Yeah. You have a very good hotel. What's the name of the hotel?
Busua Beach Resort.
Busua Beach Resort, which is
Ghana
quite a
five-star
nice hotel.
Yeah, it's a very nice hotel. Yeah,
you also have a lot of lodges and things.
Yes.
So a lot of people in Ghana go there for holiday.
Yeah.
And for context, it's a very nice place to be. And it really, really is. So you guys decided upon that. And you said, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
We've got beaches. We've got places for people to stay.
Right.
Cool.
With the permission of the Busua residents, we met the chief and, went through all of that, formal cultural process. And we did the festival.
I remember the first year.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there with my acoustic guitar.
Yeah. That little stage. I remember Rich and I running around like headless chickens, like not knowing what to do and freaking out. And
but you guys made something happen.
We made it happen.
Yeah, and it was
special.
It was special. I remember it very well. Yeah. There was who was DJing. I remember I want to say it was Vim Tins. Was it Just Ice? Was he DJing?
It could have been Just Ice. I've got to find that poster. And it was. Yeah, there's very few of us.
Very few of us. Yeah. But I remember one of them mentioned were around. Lady J, myself, Panji. Obviously, I think Rita came through that year. Yeah.
Rita was very much part of it from the beginning. From the very beginning. I give props to Rita.
Yeah, big props to Rita Ray. Yeah, and I remember it just felt so good because it was something. And it was the beginning of something. And I went, I think, for the first 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And year 2 was instantly bigger.
Right.
So let's talk about the evolution from year 2, which actually you had a bigger stage now.
Yes. I remember I think it was year 2 when One Love came with a Hungarian accordion player.
The Romanian.
Yes, sorry, it was Romanian.
Yes.
He came with a Romanian, and the Ghanaian audience is really tough when it comes to dance music.
Yes.
I think they're even more tough than like a London crowd. Because like, the London crowds are like into their music. And if you play anything out of that, it's a big problem. That's the Ghanaian. That's the Ghanaian.
It must make me dance. So.
Make me dance on these specific rhythms. If it's outside of that, it's pain to my ears. You know. And so, but what was interesting? Well, I remember that accordion player getting on stage, and I remember thinking, this is not going to work.
This is either going to.
No, I was convinced it's not going to work, but I was like, I'm open-minded. Let this. And everyone was just like mesmerized.
Yeah, I remember.
It was just, I mean, it was like phenomenal. Everyone was just like, wow, like this is such a great experience. So then I learned when it comes to like live music performance, actually the Ghanaian audience is like quite
very
open-minded and receptive to it. But when it comes to dancing,
yes, that's a whole different story.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah. No, very, very cool. And I mean, just talking about the evolution of it. So first year started off with a group of friends essentially coming together to just have a great weekend. And then the second year, I remember you had the bigger stage and it was on the other side, wasn't it?
Yes.
And how, it's now been going on for how long? How many years?
We've had 15 editions.
15 editions of the AsaBaako Music Festival.
I know, right?
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow, that is absolutely bonkers.
Insane.
Yeah, from a minibus of friends on the beach,
to tour operators,
and now it's a big thing.
Production, and and international visitors. Yeah.
So who have recent artists that have performed there been? Do you
know we've we had Manifest perform. Obviously,
Manifest is
I think
is often
Manifest
considered the best rapper in Africa.
Yeah. So I think Manifest, and we had Kofi Kinata. He's like a very big local Ghana legend. So I think they're like the bigger ones. But we made a decision to make it not about the big name artists,
sure, of course,
and more about the overall experience.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And we did that because we wanted we wanted it to be more about the experience, and obviously the main reason to come, or one of the main reasons to come, is the music, but. We have had a long-term vision about the festival and to instill that kind of culture around the festival.
Of course.
We didn't want it to be centered around like
big names. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And more about the experience. And we had this because I come from the Nottingham Carnival tradition. There's no VIP area.
Yes. Yeah.
There's limited backstage.
And Busua Beach in that whole town, you will have to be part of the community when you're there. Yeah.
Right. And so we didn't want it to be like this like alien culture coming in to the festival and like no. We weren't about that. We're about this is roots.
No divas.
No the divas are still there. But
divas and divos.
Yeah. But we wanted to make it about that experience, like every spectator is a participant. Like that was more the ethos around it. And and that's like it like worked.
Very cool.
It worked, and so we constantly refining it. Obviously, there's like you have to worry about security and stuff. So it's we still have to.
How many people do you think are attending now?
It's about 3,000.
That is huge.
Yeah, I mean for the area where we're doing it,
that it's in. I mean, for context, for people who are watching and listening, Busua really is it's not a massive city. It's not. It's a village. It is a village. You corrected me. It is a village. And that must be such a positive thing for the area, for the economy of the area, to be able to bring 3,000 people in. And would you say that I noticed? I mean, the last time I was there, I feel bad. The last time I was there was maybe 10 years ago.
Wow.
It was a while.
No
yeah,
way.
because I remember I did the first 4
It's
or
almost
5.
like I saw you there last year.
Yeah, it was a while back now. Yeah. And I noticed that there were a lot of people who were flying in from outside. There were a lot of people from the UK, a lot of people from Canada, and people from Australia.
Yeah.
So would you say that the percentage of people who were coming to Ghana for that experience was quite high?
No, actually, I do you know what you know, we've run some surveys and stuff. So I would say maybe 10%, not more than 10%.
Okay.
I mean, it's not super high. And then also we made another conscious decision to focus on the local community.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
On like building the audience from like Takoradi and stuff. And, you know, again, it's like, you know, you build festivals in like kind of these layers, you know, and like of course, the gestation period of the development of festival is like way longer than like any other type of organization or business. And so again, you know, wanted to kind of have that local ownership. And I think actually it makes sense, obviously. So there's that moment where we had like a lot of people flying in. Yeah. And we're like, actually, if we continue it like this, then it's just going to be a foreign festival. Right. Yeah, yeah. Because obviously we're not, you know, my heritage is Ghanaian, but, you know, like culturally a Londoner, right? And so it's, we wanted that local ownership. So we kind of pivoted a little bit to that. Obviously, like accommodations limited. And so we're kind of actually at that stage where we were when you were last there. Yeah. We're now opening up again for more international visitors to come in.
I guess one of the challenges is accommodation because it is a small village. Yeah.
It's a small village, but I know a few more hotels have opened and we're really using the festival with the local authorities as a catalyst to bring more investment into the area.
Very cool.
And for more like hotels and stuff to open. Yeah.
It's such a cool area. I mean, there's my favorite spot is there, Fantas Folly.
Oh, on the other side, on the other beach.
Yeah, so a secret place. If I shouldn't say this on a camera, but it's not actually in Busua village. It's the other side, and it's like the most gorgeous 300-yard Baywatch beach. Oh man, with nobody there. Yeah, in a cove, the water is nice and gentle. I shouldn't be telling people about.
I know, right? I know. This is the thing because it's like Western region still quite a bit.
It's still a little bit of a secret.
It's a little bit of a secret, and you know, that's the thing. I'm obviously doing a lot to help promote it, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to keep it quiet. I want to kind of keep it, because there's like so many amazing. You know, you got Axine Beach, you got like Blue Moon.
Yeah,
you have Princess Town.
I hear Tom Cruise stays at Blue Moon.
No,
I've heard that rumor. No. I've heard it from more than one person.
I had no idea.
I hear he's come to Ghana to go big fishing. He does like the big, you know, that big crazy fishing, you know, of course.
We don't need to be telling people this, man.
But I've heard a rumor that he's stayed there.
Interesting. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, actually.
Yeah. It's because really it's five star. I mean, that's beautiful, that place. Yeah.
It's really beautiful. And you know, and just all along the Western region, there's just so many like beaches and stuff. You have Izili Bay.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, Izili Bay. It's the guys who run Busua Inn.
Okay.
They have a whole bay. It's just, I mean,
beautiful.
Yeah, I can't even find the words to describe how beautiful it is. And then a bit further from there, you have Escape 3 Points, close to Cape 3 Points.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And run by a Kwazi, and he's got his like eco lodge there. And
is
like
that Sewor's brother?
Sewor's brother.
Yes, I know. Yeah. He's got the turtle sanctuary.
Yeah. He's got all of that eco stuff going on there.
Very cool.
And so it's like it's really a country within a country, the Western region, because obviously it's like predominantly that side of the Western region is predominantly a hunter culture, and they're like the warrior, traditional kind of like warrior people of the deep forest area, and you know, and actually that area is the original Gold Coast.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
do you know what? Yes, you're right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Elmina obviously is, as you're driving on the west coast, and of course Elmina being the mine in Portuguese, but it was one of the places where the Portuguese and the British.
But actually, they settled first in a hunterland.
Really?
In the kind of the Busua
I did
area.
not know that. Right.
And then, the hunter were just so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And you're dealing with it's like the thick forest, and they mastered the forest, and it was like difficult for the Portuguese and like other European people to kind of get a stronghold there.
Yeah, of course.
So actually, that's when they built Elmina, which was like a bit further away. Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who tells me this story, and again, this is one of those great Ghana stories. He says that his grandfather, when he was a child, when the rainy season would come, that they would see flecks of gold.
Yeah, I heard these stories. Yeah.
It was just everywhere.
Yeah, and it was actually, I'm not sure about the hunter, but probably similar. Actually, gold wasn't the highest value; it was silver.
Really?
Because obviously, you get in the process of extracting or getting the gold, you have silver.
I didn't.
Yeah. I did it. I almost did the science.
This is all stuff I'm learning now.
And so actually what was a higher value, because gold was so abundant, it was silver.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know, right? Africa in abundance, or West Africa in abundance.
I mean,
we were just chilling.
Yeah.
We were having the time of our lives
that's
before
crazy.
Our European cousins came over.
Everyone wants and desires. The wants and desires. Wow. I mean, so this is amazing. So, okay, your life and experience really, really intrigues me, because after having started these music festivals, after having lived in Ghana for several years, I know that your journey has now moved into agroforestry.
Yes.
And you've now started OKO Forest?
Yeah.
So tell me about this evolution and how this has kind of come about.
So I've always been interested in ecology and sustainability.
Yeah.
And I remember, always been quite entrepreneurial, and one of the many businesses I wanted to set up in when I was in London was organic food delivery business. I wanted to aggregate all the organic farmers in like the southeast of England, and then have a website and have people order like seasonal foods. And I was like, got really into that.
Cool.
And so it's always kind of been interested in ecology. And so being in Busua, which is kind of part of like the high forest zone area of Ghana. Yeah. It's got these like huge. It's very green.
Yeah, it's very green.
Very lush green. And obviously spending a lot of time in Busua, I remember there was, they have these like huge trees by the coast. And I remember seeing one of the trees being felled.
Right.
And in my head, I was like, why would they cut down this tree?
This 100 years, 200-year-old tree.
Yeah. What's it from here? And that's where the anthropology kicked in.
Right.
Because I was like, anthropology constantly asking why,
sure,
and how, and looking at it more from from a kind of like human institutional perspective.
Yes, yeah.
And so I was just asked why, and then spoke to some of the farmers, and I sort of learned more about their experience. So basically, they felled the tree because Ghana is kind of in this. Doing a lot of intensive monoculture agriculture, which does not fit in with the tropics,
right?
Or anywhere.
Yeah, of course.
Particularly not in the tropics, where you're when you farm like that, it leaves the soil exposed, and then it ends up all the nutrients, all the rich nutrients get kind of like washed away.
Yeah, of course.
Simplifying it, but. And so, but actually they need to fell the trees because they need more sunlight for their crops. And in the kind of our current like economic system, need money.
Yes,
need to grow these cash crops to pay for school fees and stuff. So don't want to put any shame or anything on the farmers. They're kind of locked into this kind of system of destroying their land so that they can survive.
Yeah,
but then they're ending up destroying their livelihood. So they're in this cycle of
it's
destruction.
the catch-22 of developing and growing as a nation and as a community as well. Obviously, talk about people have larger families; they need to be in a better financial position,
and very much linked to our economic system.
Yes, of course.
Our capitalist economic system. It's on a. It's very destructive for the environment. It's not compatible with the natural world. We have to face these facts.
Yeah, I mean, I read articles about Brazil, and I think there's a lot of stuff going on there where
the Amazon is dying.
Yeah, and they're planting soybeans and stuff like that,
and beef, grazing beef, which is actually
So so agroforestry. So your experience with watching what was happening in Busua on a smaller scale led you to
basically. I learned a lot of like the buzzwords and stuff and all like kind of the UN
the lingo
on and then also learned a lot and like met there's an organization for like peasant farmers, like rural peasant farmers. I met some of these people and got a bit of a better understanding of that kind of like the wider global ecological context and discussions
of course
on climate change and climate action. So then so after going to Geneva a lot over almost 4-year period, then obviously discovering agroforestry and becoming really excited about, oh my god, we can grow 200 crops on hectares of thing, and we have the festival, and we're all gonna sing along and hold hands and
love it,
work with farmers, and that's it.
We've all gonna be beautiful.
I've solved the problem. I've helped solve the problem. Let me go and chill back on the beach, and
I love it. So this wonderful idea of bringing everything together has now been instilled in your soul, in your mind. So talk to me about the implementation of this, because I know that you've been doing this for the past 10 years. You've actually made a lot of headway.
Right.
So this crazy idea has now become a reality. I remember you were talking about you were doing something with cocoa for a while. Then you were planting trees on a grand scale.
Actually, it all links to Busua actually. So interesting. So you mentioned on the second festival, the patch of land on the beach where we did it is owned by a Ghanaian Lebanese timber company. The sustainable timber. They're actually doing sustainable timber, the selective cutting. It's like it's not destructive what they particularly are doing. The destruction is a whole other story. And then,
of course.
That's a whole another discussion.
They have good intentions.
They're doing good intention, and they're following the procedures to sustain the natural forests, right? So over the years, had in the formal Ghanaian way, you have to write a letter. We want to use your land for.
Of course.
So I kept going there over the years while we're doing the festival, and one year, I think it was after the 3rd or 4th year, Gassan, he was like, "Who's this guy that keeps coming every year to?" use us for access for our land, and that land's been in their family for like 60 years.
Sure, of course.
And he just happened. He travels a lot. I think he travels a lot as well. So he happened to be there while I was there, and he was like, "Okay, he's here again. Okay, call him into my office."
Yeah.
And so this is when I'd moved back to Ghana full time from Switzerland, from Geneva, and where I was like full agroforestry.
Yeah.
This is like, I'm like fully in this now. And I go in and into his office, and he's like, "Oh, like what's up? This festival's getting bigger." And I was like, "Yeah, we're doing this festival, and want to drive music tourism, all of that sort of talk." He's like, "What else do you do?" I was like, "Oh, actually, I just set up a agroforestry company."
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like eyes lit up. It's like, "Oh my God, I have like a 50,000 hectare reforestation concession from the Forestry Commission of Ghana that I've been trying to get started.
Wow.
Can you help me?"
Fantastic. So the stars aligned.
the stars aligned.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, look, I'm like a city boy Londoner who, I didn't know much about planting trees. I just knew that I wanted to help make an impact on it. So I was like, you know what? I actually don't know much about this. So, but he's going to pay me a consultancy fee. And so I'm going to get paid to learn. And so let me just do this. Let me humble myself a bit and learn and whatnot. So ended up helped him set that up. And so we did we ended up doing over like 100 hectares of the 50,000,
Wow. But that's a large amount of land. I mean, that's still a very big project.
Right. And, had to align the communities, even though on paper he had the land, it was signed over
There's
to
still
him.
always issues,
Still, you have the traditional power structure in Ghana where you have to...
you have to say hello to the seniors.
Yeah, hello in our Ghana way with the envelope.
Yeah, everybody has their small, of course.
And I ended up doing that. And set that up. Had to like build the team, and that was like it was really a godsend to have that experience. And then
very cool.
We because I had already designed a project to create an agroforestry buffer around a reserve in the Ashanti region of Ghana.
Very cool. Yeah.
I'd already designed that, in the comfort of Geneva.
My paper looks so good.
Exactly. All the right buzzwords.
My report.
All the right buzzwords were in that document. Right?
Yeah.
And said all the right things in there. And actually, so what tipped me to take that job was the first year we did planting, because I got some investors and we invested in a 40-hectare plot of land next to this reserve, the Kojai Strict Nature Reserve, the only strict nature reserve in Ghana, highest reserve according to the IUCN. And it's a very important site, and so we still have this land next to the reserve, and the first year we went in planting, brought in all these mix of species, and we're going to create this great agroforestry land. We got this ecological paradise. We wanted like degraded land. We got the compost, fertilizer, everything. Tick, 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 tick. All the checklist was thing from my policy documents. So, and got the local team there to plant and everything, and we planted everything. I think in the first year we maybe planted few hundred trees, maybe like 500 trees or something.
Yeah.
And went back to Accra. I think like a day or two later, I get a call. Oh, the trees are dead.
Oh, what? What?
Oh, man.
What happened?
The cows, the pastoralist, the Fulani herdsmen, they trampled on all the trees,
and the trees were very small.
Yeah, because they're like little seeding. They trampled on everything, ate everything. 90% dead.
Wow. Now, was that a case of no communication between the local people and the Fulani who are bringing the cows through? They probably do it every year.
Yeah. I think that's a case of city boy going into an area thinking he knows what to do without taking time to understand the local context.
Yeah. So that's a big learning experience.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And so, this was a realization that I don't know much. I don't have this. I have got this like theoretical experience, but I don't know it from a practical
on the
level.
ground.
Yeah. And so then met, I think then a few weeks later around that time met Gassan. I was like, let me just take this job. As a consultant and help him get this project started.
I think I know Gassan. Is he American?
No, he's like Ghanaian Lebanese. His dad arrived in Ghana from Lebanon.
Was he selling forklifts and stuff?
No. He's like
I know another guy. Such a
No, not this one. But no, Gassan doesn't. He's kind of more behind the scenes guy.
Okay.
And
so that job was helping him to set up this forest and to plant you said 50,000 hectares, but you got 100 hectares going.
Yes, yeah.
And was that successful? Did you learn from your first experiences?
Yeah, so much. Because then it was like, that was in the cocoa landscape. Obviously, Ghana's like the second biggest cocoa producer in the world.
Yeah.
And so, and actually because of cocoa is a international commodity and very important crop for Ghana, there's like decades of research. And actually cocoa is naturally an agroforestry crop.
Right.
It grows under the canopy.
Yes, it does.
So you need to plant these, shade trees, and
there's a whole
mix of trees you need to plant. Cocoa thrives in
forest.
In the forest.
Yeah.
And so there I just learned a lot about kind of agroforestry from a practical, not only theoretical, from a practical point of view on agroforestry systems. And,
of course.
And Ghana's amazing for scientific research in country.
Yeah, of course.
So I got, through CRIG, that's the Cocoa Research Institute, the Forestry Research Institute of Ghana, Forestry Commission. There's like all these.
There's a lot of reports that have been done, a lot of feasibility studies that have been done,
and highly knowledgeable scientists and doers. In country.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
And so I was able to sort of immerse myself in that kind of very scientific community within Ghana. So it's like really important, actually. So it's a really important foundation.
Yeah, you got an education. Man.
Yeah, I got an education. I got an education through doing that. And then so I did that for 3 years.
Very cool.
Helped Gassan start it up. And then, I was going to another stage. And then, I really wanted to go on to that project that I'd started and kind of like neglected. And
now we have the knowledge.
Now they had knowledge.
Right.
And so, went back to the land was still there. And then, long story short, we've since planted 70,000 trees.
Wow, well done.
On
Congratulations.
That land. And they're growing.
They're still there.
They're still there. Well, we had issues with fires, and that's with some fires,
story.
But that's it's a constant learning process, and it's constant learning.
So 70,000 trees successfully planted.
Yes,
and that's a real achievement, man. That's congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, our own nurseries, on our own seeding nurseries. Yeah,
and this is that's obviously I know your recent news, so I know this is again still part of the journey.
Yes.
So where did it go from there?
So then I kind of became
the tree guy.
The tree guy, I guess. The tree guy, and sort of, and obviously I had and I could like write reports and bring teams together and whatnot. So now then I was invited by a company called AgDevco.
Okay.
It's like a British
agricultural development
company. AgDevco,
it's in the name. Yeah.
And so they had this 10,000 hectare concession in the Savannah region of Ghana, which was then the northern region, then the Savannah region of Ghana on the Black Volta River. So I was invited. This is actually during the pandemic.
Wow, yeah.
2020.
Right.
First lockdown in Ghana, I was like traveling through Ghana because I had agricultural ID.
You had expired. The pass.
The pass. I was like traveling.
I have my papers.
I have my thing, No, it was valid. It wasn't expired.
I felt that lockdown in Ghana wasn't really much of a lockdown.
I remember we went out during the lockdown. I think it was like 2 weeks in the lockdown. We were like at a bar.
I don't even remember locking down. I mean, my house is, my roof is quite comfortable.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember locking down.
No, did we go to not Epo Spot? Purple Pub. Didn't we go to Purple Pub? Yeah, I think we remember went to Purple Pub during the lockdown.
It wasn't lockdown to me,
So back to this. AgDevco invited me to write an agroforestry development plan.
Okay.
For their 10,000 hectare concession. So they wanted to develop this like monoculture, intense irrigation.
Okay.
Industrial sites.
Right.
In very rural Ghana.
When you say monoculture, is that planting one crop?
Planting one crop.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So planting one crop, and they invested in these like central pivot irrigation. I don't know, particularly when you're flying over like the Middle East areas.
Sure.
I don't know, sometimes you see these like crop circle anyway, of green circle. Anyway. So those are these central pivots. There's like these huge irrigation lines, systems. Yeah. And so they installed 4 of them, but it's just, it's just a nightmare to set up projects in Ghana.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It takes time. It didn't work out for them.
Okay.
After investing quite a bit of money, and so I wrote so they were pivoting to more do agroforestry away from monocropping, which was great because it's like better for the soil,
for the better environment. Yeah.
And so I wrote that plan, went up there a few times for them, like as a consultant, and I remember thinking, oh my God, this would be a really good. And I was learning about carbon.
Right. Yes.
And
this
like
moves
carbon
into the
sequestration.
carbon. Yeah.
About carbon sequestration, and I was like, oh my God, this. The limited knowledge I had at the time, I was like, okay, this could be a really good carbon project. Fast forward, so I submitted that document to them, and they implemented the things that we said there. And then fast forward to about 2 years ago, I get a call from AgDevCo.
Okay.
Saying, do you want to tender to take over 8,000 hectares of the 10,000 hectare concession?
Wow. Why not?
I do actually.
You listening to everything that you talked about, what I love about your journey has been, it's that you've had a constant journey of learning. And you really seem to have taken on these projects and really said, okay, I need to learn about this. And you've gotten on with it. And every stage of learning seems to have naturally segued and led on to the next stage. So now, okay, I don't want to put any titles on you, but now you are a big man in the world of land.
No, I be small guy. I just be small guy. Humble me, eh?
So now you have been involved in putting this tender together.
Yeah. So involved in putting the tender together. We won it.
Fantastic.
So we won the 8,000 hectares, and so now we're like developing the land. So we're like now like one of like major landowners or leaseholders. It's
a quick distinction.
Sorry,
the distinction.
Yeah, it's not technically because in Ghana, we still have the traditional power structures, and the traditional authority is the custodian of the land. So really, you're leasing it from them. You have a right to use the land from them. So but.
But it's good. Yeah. So now with these 8,000 hectares of land, your plan is for agroforestry.
Yes, agroforestry. Yeah, so we're going to plant a mix of trees. And what's amazing actually, so when I went up there, because they'd implemented the design that we put on paper.
Fantastic, yeah.
And so I was like walking around there and like seeing some of the trees and stuff. I was like, wait, hold up. This is like really, I haven't been here before to this particular, but this is a really good mix of trees. Yeah. Like this is a really good plan. Who did this? Who decided? I did this. No, with a team and stuff.
Of course. That must be an amazing feeling.
It was like really amazing feeling there. It was like wow, and then having seen the mature trees and stuff because it's the tropics, they grow quite fast, and it was like whoa, wow. Very cool. It's like a real like kind of affirming moment.
Very cool
to see your kind of work in action or in life.
Yes, right? Of course. Yeah. And of course, and one of the great things is you are planting trees. It is life. It's a living, breathing, more importantly, talking about the carbon credits, it's a living, breathing thing. And you are able to create ecosystems and communities, which is an amazing thing. Yeah. And it's all part of the wider development. That's so cool, man. It really, really is. Congratulations on getting everything done. And I know that in recent years, you've managed to have the perfect lifestyle where you're in Ghana for most of the time, and then you come through to London for the summer.
Coincidentally.
For UK
it's
summer.
Just somehow, coincidentally, I'm here when it's warm.
Sunshine, right? More sunshine, back to sunshine.
But I was here in the winter, actually, because when you have this like endless summer,
you do need a season.
You need the season because I'm like a February baby.
Yeah.
And like, I missed the cold.
Yeah.
I realized I hadn't experienced autumn
for
in like
a decade.
8 years. Yeah, in like 8 years. And I was like, seeing like, the autumnal
Leaves.
colors and like the change in seasons. So I was here for 2 months in the winter.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like talking to Fred the first 2 weeks. I was like, this is amazing.
This is lovely.
This is like so nice. And then my friends are like, he's gone crazy.
It's getting cold.
Yeah. He's just like, let's see how long he lasts. And I could just see their eyes rolling. And I was like, I think it took me like, I think in like the 4th week, I was like,
okay, it's getting cold now.
Yeah. Like,
it's funny because I know exactly how you feel. I grew up in everywhere, kind of America, Chicago, which is freezing in the winter, London, and obviously West Africa. But when I moved back to Ghana, I had 10 years of constant summer. And when I came back to London, I was like, oh, season.
Yeah,
it's nice to have a little bit of something that's not relentless heat, and to get out of flip flops for a little while.
Right.
I got my Timberlands on, and I was like, okay, this is what we need for a little while. No, this is amazing, man. So future plans. Obviously, you have your big project with the 8,000 hectares. I know you're essentially at the beginning of this project, aren't you? This is
we've got two projects. So so we have one in the Shanti region. It's the Kojai Forest Reserve project. Multi-layered, very community-led project where it's more helping farmers to farm more productively in an ecological way. So we're helping them raise their income and the biodiversity on their farm. So that's like one project there that's like quite advanced.
Very cool.
And then now we have the Babator project, which is a little bit further north, but still within the same climatic zone.
Because Ghana's what's the word I'm looking for? It goes from rainforest to the sort of Sahelian sort of red dust transition in the north. Yeah,
it's not quite Sahel. So you've got you have Accra, which is the actually in old maps. If you look at these like old kind of colonial maps, the Accra area, I think from like Aflao through to Cape Coast, they called the Guinea Gap.
Right.
So in these old maps, it was like this. It's like a gap of it was basically more like savanna.
Sure.
So it wasn't this like thick, lush forest.
Interesting.
So you have the Guinea. I think it's like the Guinea forest, which runs from like Cameroon to Casamance in Senegal.
Wow.
So this old forest all along the coast.
Yeah.
It's fragmented now.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks to humans, right?
Yeah, of course.
And but within that, historically, there's been this Guinea Gap.
Right.
So just talking about the climatic zones in Ghana. So you've got this like Guinea Gap. So Accra's always been this drier area.
Right.
Surrounded by lush forest.
I remember when I was living in Kumasi, and when you drive to Kumasi about maybe an hour and a half before you get there, it just turns green.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's just like, you're right. Yeah, you kind of go from Accra, which can be whatever it is, to getting into that middle region, and it's just lush, tropical rainforest.
Yeah.
And it's cooler.
Yeah.
And there was more mist. Yeah. And I used to do that Accra, Kumasi drive all the time.
Yeah.
And obviously, to avoid traffic, you try and leave early in the morning.
Yes, very early.
And you get the sort of misty. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah.
And then then in Kumasi, which is like city built in the forest, and
the garden city. Yeah.
And then where our projects are first, the project we first started is in north of Kumasi, which is the beginning of the forest to savanna transition zone.
Yeah.
And so it's our 2 projects are within that transition zone.
Very cool.
The first one's in the southern part of the transition zone. So it's quite amazing. So in the dry season, it's looks like savanna.
Yeah.
In the rainy season,
it
looks like
rainforest,
tropical rainforest. And so then a bit further north, where we have our second project, is the northern edge of the transition zone.
Cool.
And then after that is the savanna.
Wow. So you've got projects potentially in all these different types of ecosystems.
Just within the forest savanna transition, two projects within that, and
cool.
Let's see what else comes up. But for now, it's enough.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're also doing agricultural waste to energy as well, keeping ourselves busy.
Wow.
Wow. And we have a organic fertilizer that we make from,
of course,
that.
Wow, this
process.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
this
that we sell to farmers.
Well, this is. I mean, I'm so impressed with what you're doing, man. I really, really am, and it's amazing to hear of your journey from North London to, I didn't know, Trinidad and the carnival period of your life, and then obviously starting music festival AsaBaako, and now moving on into agroforestry. Well, thank you very much for coming down. Thank you very much for having this conversation with me. I think we've covered everything.
Thanks for having me.
And congratulations with all of the work that you're doing. I mean, the agroforestry stuff is so important. And I think it's really wonderful that you've managed to learn along the way and really develop yourself into the person that you are today, which is, you are a big man in the world of trees. No, wonderful. Thank you for coming down, man.
Thanks for having me, and really good to catch up.
Yeah. I'm so happy we could do this.
Yes,
It's been really good. Awesome.
Awesome.